What's up, everybody? It's a new turn Jay off now. And I've still got this music playing, don't I? Let's pause that. How's everyone doing? We are live. Nice little makeup, legally speaking, before I head out for the weekend. What's up, Lily? How are you doing? I really wish that I could turn the username thing off on this channel. It doesn't do that on King's Advisors, but it does that on this channel. It's really annoying. There's a lot to talk about. We're not going to get through all of it because, like I said, I am limited on time. But there's been some really dumb shit done in the last 2 weeks that I wish I had spent a little more time getting work done so that I could then do live streams about it. But work's been a bit much. So what's up, Corn Boy? How you doing, man? So let's talk. Let's start with the first thing. I want to kind of explain a video that I made this past week here on the King's Court about trademark infringement. So we saw the news that what do you call it? That Buc-ee's is suing this Oklahoma underwear brand, Nut Huggers. Hang on. I just want to pull up the images of the marks. What's up, guys? Coming over from Jay's stream. I hope y'all are having a great day. Jay, I think Cornboys just said that Jay's getting ready to raid me. So what's up? I hope everyone is doing well. We're going to pull this up from... That is hilarious. That is genuinely hilarious. Where do we do this? Share screen. I'm actually using Reddit for this, so let me say hello to everyone. Rebel Headspace, what's up? A55 is incoming. Man, that is... A55 might actually be funnier than the 199. KC, how are you doing? Classic Curly Radio, MASH, Bruce Wayne, Andy Masterson. I hope y'all are having a great week. It's Friday. We are so close to Thanksgiving. The best or second best, depending on how you look at it, holiday of the year. And who could be less excited or more excited? So let me open this because I'm going to use one of my old study cheat sheets. Drunk 3PO raid. Guys, if you are not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We're at 439 right now. There were 500 people in Jay's chat. If they're all over here, we could break 500 today. Let's do it. Keep watching. We're gonna get to the Trump stuff in just a sec, but I wanna discuss this because I'm quite a fan of trademark. So Buc-ee's is suing Oklahoma underwear brand Nut Huggers. That's Bucky the Beaver, and that's the Nut Hugger Squirrel. So they sent Nut Huggers a cease and desist, basically saying, "Hey, your mascot is way too similar to our mascot." And in their letter, in their cease and desist, basically claimed that they own all cartoon animal mascots. No, you don't. I mean, just absolutely not. First off, are you going to sue Chuck E. Cheese's to get rid of their rat or mouse, whatever it is? No, you're not, because they are way before you in time. Man, I'm not even going to be able to say hello to everyone coming over here from Jay. First off, Jay, thank you so much for rating, man. I I really appreciate it. Holy crap, that's a lot of. I'm gonna get that message real quick. 102 people over here. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. We got some great stuff coming. So, in the video, I kind of discussed about how Bucky rises to a descriptive trademark, and I was incorrect about that. Bucky is far and away much more hang on. Either fanciful or arbitrary. So there's 5 levels to trademark, but Star Wars Dog, I will in about an hour and a half. Don't worry, buddy. There's 5 levels to trademark, and it gets, as you go up, you get less protection. So like a generic mark, you get no protection. But a fanciful mark, you get complete protection. Anyone that touches anything close to that mark, they're gone. So a fanciful mark is like an invented word, and it possesses meaning only in relation to their goods and services. So remember that the purpose of trademark is to protect the consumer, so that when the consumer goes to buy this product, they don't actually think that they're buying this product. We see it a lot in fashion, Gucci, things like that. Gucci is probably one of the most litigious clothing brands in the world, because you've got so many different scalpers, thieves, Chinese people trying to take the goodwill that Gucci has created and make money off of it. If you've ever left a football game after a win, you start heading towards where everyone is parking. You see all those people with trying to sell T-shirts from the game. You'll notice that they never have the official trademarks on them, because then they get in trouble for selling them. So Bucky is definitely fanciful. It might be arbitrary. Arbitrary are trademarks that have real words that hold no association with the underlying goods and services. So that would be like, a Coach, like the handbag Coach. That has nothing to do with, like, the name has nothing to do with the actual product. Whereas like Clorox for cleaning brands is synonymous with cleaning. So that's how that rises to the level of fanciful, just like Kleenex, Google, things like that. So Bucky's is sitting here trying to say that, yeah, exactly, JD. You got a beaver and then you got a squirrel. First off, no one's seeing as how Bucky's only uses that beaver for everything and uses no variation of it. There's no way you could confuse Bucky's with Nut Huggers, which again is a awesome name for an underwear brand. Hilarious. So yeah, now I understand where Bucky's is coming from. They want to make sure that their brand is protected. They don't want any, because see, the problem is if you don't protect your brand, you can lose your trademark. Kleenex spent probably about $1 billion over 5 or 10 years fighting the loss of their trademark. They almost lost their trademark because if your word becomes synonymous with, or if your mark becomes synonymous with the product, so that it doesn't distinguish your product from another version of that product, then you can actually lose your mark. So for instance, if Google is a great example of this. So they'll never do this to Google, but there's an argument to be made that Google should no longer be trademarked, because no one says anything other than Google for a search engine. No legitimate person says, hey, you should Bing that, or hey, go to DuckDuckGo and look that up. No one says that. So there's an argument to be made, and they've spent millions and billions of dollars trying to make sure that argument never gets made, that Google's trademark is now null and void because their mark has become so synonymous with the action that you cannot separate the product from the mark anymore. Ask Jeeves. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Kleenex's original purpose was it had something to do with makeup, didn't it? I'm pretty sure it had something to do with makeup. And they were so horrified that people were using it to blow their nose that they spent money trying to get people not to do that, and then just went, we'll just make more money doing this. So that's trademark. That's kind of our more boring. I won't say boring. I actually really like trademark. It's intellectual property is what I wanted to go into, but there's no entry level ability in intellectual property. You either go in at like 10 years of experience or you don't go in. Okay, so the important part, guys, the reason we're all here. And I wish I had saved the tweets, but I'm sure I can look them up now. Let's just look up Trump because they'll come up. Where is dead air, right? Where is I know Jay was just talking about this, but one of the things that I want to bring up that I actually almost texted Jay and say, hey, let me come on for a minute, because I'm getting really annoyed at something that they're doing. And they're doing this all as a plan. And this is probably going to be the most tinfoil hat thing you've ever heard from me. But I need to find. Damn it. Democrats video. There we go. Okay. So it was in the, let me make sure I'm right about this. Yes. So it was in the video where they did the whole, you can refuse illegal orders bullshit. Which, I mean, look, at the end of the day, absolutely. Part of the USMJC, I don't remember the initials, does allow for the refusal of illegal orders. It's enshrined in common law, it's enshrined in military law, it's enshrined in international law. Thank you, Nightsaber. UCMJ. There we go. But none of the orders that Trump has given have been illegal. In fact, they've even been upheld by the courts. And we all know which ones they're talking about. They're talking about the orders to the National Guard, which become federalized by Donald Trump every couple of weeks, and then are ordered into different cities and states to help keep order. And so they're sitting there trying to say that these are illegal orders. We have 4 or 5 different federal courts that have said they are not illegal orders. So not only is this just the start of their 2026 campaign, they're going to be campaigning on this for the next 4 months, and then in April something's going to happen, whether it's some big thing, some plan, or it's just a new name drops from something and they go, okay, now we can campaign on that. But the thing that's so annoying about this is we get the dude in a second.
Know that we have your back.
Because now,
this dumbass.
The American people need you. We need you to stand up for our laws,
our Constitution, and
Actually,
who we are as Americans.
Mark Kelly's
Don't
an idiot.
Give up. Don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
Okay. This is so fucking annoying. So, the reason they are using Don't Give Up the Ship is because the United States Navy released their uniforms. The Naval Academy released their uniforms this week for the Army-Navy game, which will take place in 3 weeks, which first off tells me that something is supposed to happen in 3 weeks. Again, tinfoil hat, guys, because there's no other reason to start using this phrase than if you want something trending and people looking at your tweets in 3 weeks. So, Don't Give Up the Ship was the final order of Captain Lawrence of the USS Chesapeake, who took control of the USS Chesapeake in mid-1812, I think, just after the start of the War of 1812. And it was actually captured by British vessels like 4 months later. His dying order was Don't Give Up the Ship. He died, and they immediately gave up the fucking ship. The only people, and Star Wars Dog's gonna fucking love this, the only people that actually put up a fight on that ship were the damn Marines that were stationed on the ship. So that is what's so annoying about this. So the U.S. Navy, or the Naval Academy, is using the USS Constitution, which is the sister ship of the USS Chesapeake, on the right side of their helmets, and using the motto, Don't Give Up the Ship. Now, my issue with this is that they were both laid down in 1797, 20 years after, 30 years. Nope, 20. Sorry, I did my math wrong. 20 years after the Declaration of Independence was signed, and 19 years after the motto they should be using, any of them, even the Democrats should be using, John Paul Jones is, I have not yet begun to fight. The Navy's messed this up. They had an opportunity to use the Bonhomme Richard, which was the first ship and the first American captain to take out a British Navy ship in British waters in 500 years. Really dropped the ball. And anyone that's been watching my Twitter feed this week knows that I have opinions about this shit. But this is annoying because clearly what they're trying to do is they're trying to make these videos. They keep using Don't Give Up the Ship throughout so many of their things, when half of these people aren't even sailors. I think the last guy was a sailor. Mark Kelly was in the Air Force. And they keep using this because in 3 weeks, Don't Give Up the Ship is going to be trending, because that's the phrase that the Naval Academy is using for the Army-Navy game this year. And so they want all this stuff being popped up during the Army-Navy game. Yes, exactly. They are hijacking the trend, and they're doing it early. They're pre-jacking the trend. I thought he was Air Force. Let's find out. Oh, no, he was Navy. Okay. See, he just looks so comfortable in a chair. I just assumed he was Air Force. Yeah. Ryan, the History of Pirates also has a very good video narrated by me on John Paul Jones, and a very cool live stream between Jay and myself on him as well. Yep. It's a space cadet. But yeah, this is just this whole thing that they've been doing. And then, of course, they all, Trump didn't even tweet. He just it wasn't even a tweet. It was on True Social. He retruthed the whole that statement made by the guy that this is sedition. And then he added what was it? Seditious conduct. worthy of execution or something like that. I think I'm even making it worse than it actually was. Let me see what he actually said. He posts all of his. No, this is going all back to the 30th. POTUS? I don't think he used the POTUS account to tweet it, did he? I wish he would just, yes. So he said seditious behavior punishable by death is what his actual comment was. And at the end of the day, someone that incites a rebellion within the armed forces is committing sedition. They are literally trying to prevent lawful orders from being followed. Again, this is not up for opinion. There are 5 federal court decisions saying that his orders to the National Guard are legal. And then, of course, actually, prior to him saying seditious behavior punishable by death, look at this. I didn't even see this one. Okay, Jim, too much now. This is real. So, Washington Examiner did an article about the video. Democratic veterans in Congress urge service members to refuse unspecified unlawful orders. And Trump, what is it? Truth? Is that what it is on Truth Social? This is really bad and dangerous to our country. Dangerous is capitalized. Come on, Don. Grammar, buddy. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors, lock them up. This, and honestly, this would have been fine. I will say, okay, this is a bit much. Seditious behavior punishable by death is a bit much. I don't think I would have tweeted that. I don't think I would have said that. This is totally fine. This is where I would have left it. I would have left it at that first one. Yeah, I still call it a tweet as well. I did well, actually, the president. Nobody is safe from a well, actually. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, and look, that's the point. You'll see a whole lot of people say that throughout Twitter. He's literally only quoting the law. And he is. All he's saying is seditious behavior is punishable by death. Still feel like I would have said it a little differently. But fuck, he got elected president. I did not. So he can say whatever the hell he wants. Did y'all hear about oh, hang on, what's this? Hang on a second. Where's the matter? I need to make sure I'm reading this right. All right, who is Megan Reckling? I want to know who she is before I pull her up. Megan Reckling, a member of the Republican Party, ran for election to the Michigan House of Representatives to represent District 47. She lost the Republican primary on August 4th of 2020. Not by a lot, though. She was close. So this is something she said. What's up, Brisket? How you doing, man? right here. Okay. So she's talking about the Michigan Constitution here.
And you look at our state constitution, I hear this a lot from people. It already says only citizens can vote. And I say, no, it doesn't. Words matter.
Oh, sorry. I think I misunderstood what Kevin Rinke is saying up here. Let me just keep listening.
Yes, they do.
Words are really important. And if you read the right to vote, our state constitution says every citizen has the fundamental right to vote. Saying every citizen has the fundamental right to vote is very different than saying only citizens have the fundamental right to vote. In a legal context, those are very different. To say all of us hold that right versus only all of us hold that right.
No, it's not. So this is the same stuff that you see when let me pull up a Social Security card. This is the same stuff that you hear. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Open image is what I want. There we go. This is the same stuff that you hear from people that say when you look at a Social Security card that you are signing a contract, that you are now in a corporation. I am not the capital King's Advisors. I am the lowercase King's Advisors. It's bullshit. Yes, words matter, but not like that. Every citizen has the right to vote is the same statement as only citizens have the right to vote. Because every and only is modifying citizens. Every citizen does not mean, and this is why stuff like this, it's so annoying. It's why people think that people like this are so dumb. Because what she's not sitting here saying is when you make decisions about something like this, you look at the Michigan Constitution, which was written, I'm not even going to look it up. I'm going to guess 1820. Actually, let's look it up. It's probably been amended by now. Michigan Constitution. Convention was 1835. So let's call it 1836. Now it's been re-amended. 1963 is the new Michigan Constitution. So when you look at the Michigan Constitution, you don't sit there and look at and decide it by stuff today. You have to decide it by the opinions and the statements made in 1963. That's why when people try to use the Voting Rights Act or the Affordable Care Act, the Americans with Disabilities Act, the creation of housing and urban development, when they try to use these things and say, well, and they tried to do this recently back in 2021, I think. They try to say that you cannot discriminate based on sexual orientation or based on gender identity. And that's a lie. You absolutely can. Now, there are states that have said you cannot, and in that state, you might not be able to. I think Michigan is one of them. But here in South Carolina, I absolutely can discriminate based on gender identity because it is not a protected status under South Carolina or federal law. And anyone that says it is lying to you. They tried to update I think it was the Voting Rights Act in 2021, I believe, to include gender identity. And it failed by a wide margin because in a good way. You had a lot of people that actually thought it already was included. It isn't. And then you had a lot of people that realized, no, that's, I mean, you're opening up such a Pandora's box doing that. Please put me on the Supreme Court. Oh my God, that would be so fun. You think Justice Jackson is annoying? I would be an asshole on the court. Man, that would be so much fun. That's why a lot of people are leaving Michigan. Star Wars dog. Yeah, I saw that video and I saw the caption made it sound like she was saying anyone is allowed to vote in our elections. And she was kind of saying that. She was saying that, So funny. So Jasmine Crockett just tweeted a statement from her office. Today, an individual showed up to my DC office and made white supremacist threats and hand gestures. Everyone is safe, and I want to thank Capitol Police for their swift response. But let me be crystal clear. This cannot become the norm. We're living in a time where political violence is being fueled from the very top. When the President of the United States spreads hates and lies, when he targets his political opponents, when he openly calls for the death of sitting members of Congress, he is putting a literal target on our back. The president should be committed to unity, not more division. It's so funny. It's so funny that I say that because I don't remember Democrats or liberals being shot at. Like when has that happened? You know what? It doesn't happen because we don't shoot people. We might burn down a abortion clinic, but we don't shoot people because that has happened. Don't pretend it hasn't, because it has. Some folks have questioned why I need security. This is why. Every time I speak truth, stand up for my constituents, or call out corruption, the threats get louder and more dangerous. I will not be intimidated. I will not be silenced. I will continue to show up for the people of Texas's 30th Congressional District. Well, for about another 9 months. But we cannot pretend that this is normal. When leaders promote hate, hate shows up, sometimes right at our door. Again, let's look at this using the same method they use in courts. Let's pretend every single thing works for the non-moving party. So for Jasmine Crockett here, okay? If every single... That is a 10 out of 10 statement. Holy shit. Hang on, I'm stealing that. I am stealing this right now. Quote. No. Should I tag her? I tagged her. Now, trademark doesn't work like that, Jim. Oh my God. Okay, so let's pretend everything is lined up for the non-moving party, for Jasmine Crockett here. Every single statement she has said is verifiably wrong. This cannot become the norm. Y'all, they've already made this the normal. This is the new normal. Violence to promote your agenda is the new normal. Y'all, you literally murdered the guy that wanted to just talk. There is no coming back from that. There was a poll that showed 63% of your voters believe it's okay to use violence to get their message across. That should have been a wake-up call for y'all. You should have immediately put out videos saying, guys, we got to step back. This is too much. we are becoming violent. This is wrong. But no, you just continue to blame us for the violence. Go through every damn minute I have put stuff out online, and you will never find once that I have said this person needs to DIE. Never. This shit is annoying as hell. Why do you need security? Well, you are a member of Congress. You are entitled to a level of security. But that's what the Capitol Police are for. You don't need extra security. No one wants to go fuck with Jasmine Crockett. God, I'm so sick of these loudmouth dumbasses. Let's talk about Charlotte. So the Border Patrol, ICE, DHS, they all showed up to Charlotte at the beginning of the week to start a new operation. And they immediately started arrest. I think they announced that they got about 200, 250 arrests in. And then suddenly, and then suddenly you've got you got school districts that have 20% of their 80% of their classes empty. You've got job sites that are completely empty. You've got Mexican restaurants saying ICE is not allowed in without a judicial warrant signed by a judge. I go to Charlotte frequently, 4 or 5 times a year. I didn't know it was that bad. Like, I didn't know there were that many, because I walk around Charlotte. You don't see that many illegals walking around. But the sheer number of claims and the sheer number of people creating these organizations in Charlotte, creating these walls of people to protect illegals, putting up money so that they can go buy groceries instead of going to work. You know what it reminds me of? Do y'all remember? Oh God, when was this? This might have been like 2011. The Kardashians put out this like statement that, and you're sitting there wondering why does he know about this? You'll figure out why I know about this. The Kardashians put out this statement that, which one is it? Kylie? Is Kylie the makeup chick? Y'all don't know. I don't even know. Kylie. Yes, that Kylie Jenner was like a couple $1 million away from being the youngest billionaire ever, or youngest female billionaire, I think. And people donated money. There were people that donated in total, I believe it was like millions of dollars to help her reach that goal. Someone that is almost a billionaire does not need to get money from LaDasha or Tom or Sarah to become a fucking billionaire. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, I don't understand that. Can you imagine finding out? Imagine if you found out that I was a billionaire, or that my bank account had $948 million in it. Would you not feel a little dumb if you suddenly started giving me money? And then, what if I accepted that money? Now, I don't remember if they accepted it. I don't remember if they said no, they refunded. I don't. So let's hope, let's pray that they said no, we don't need this. But what if they didn't? Like that? So that's where we're at. And honestly, that's where we've been at for a while, almost 20 years now. So, Corn Boy. Okay. I'm going to push back a little bit. And y'all, you're going to be shocked to hear, you're going to be shocked about this. Because I 100% agreed until about 3 months ago. So, I'll give you an example. Taco Bell has a donation thing that they do where they will, if you round up or something like that, all that money goes into a scholarship fund for anyone in there, for anyone that I think is working sub manager. I believe it could include managers, but I think it's below manager. So basically anyone that you see in the uniform giving out tacos. And they don't, so when those people decide to go to college, or I think it's for any higher learning, I think it could be trade school, anything like that, they will donate up to $10,000 a year. Actually, I think it is $10,000. They will give them 10 grand a year out of the fund that those donations go into. So in that case, I am 100% down for it. Anytime that I find out that a organization has something like that, I always round up, because 82 cents isn't going to break my bank, but it could help them go, get higher learning. Now, you are right that there are a bunch of companies that do the whole write-off thing. Absolutely. But again, if I could do that, I would too. Andy, you have a good day, man. I hope you have a good time at jiu-jitsu and go. Is that the one that you lay on the ground and try to tackle people, or is that Brazilian jiu-jitsu? Yeah. See, that's the thing. B-Man, I want to play more Arc Raiders with X-Wing. I had a lot of fun doing that Monday night, I think it was. But not this weekend. This weekend I am out. I'm actually in probably about 40 minutes getting into my car and driving down to, I was going to say the good state of Georgia, but I don't know if I could say it's good. The okay state of Georgia, to spend the weekend with this dumbass. Yep. Ooh, just cooked a steak. How'd you cook it? We need that answer. Oh, okay. Here's one thing. Okay, I got two more things to talk about. Did anybody, medium rare, good boy. Did anybody ever see this happening? And I don't know what the comments. Let me make sure it doesn't say anything bad. No, hang on. Let me find a different one. Okay, we can use this. Come on. Press X to doubt. Okay. Did anybody see this? Was this on anybody's bingo card? Nicki Minaj talking at the UN on what's going on in Nigeria. Man, nobody, there isn't a soul on this planet that thought this picture was ever going to be real. And look, she's absolutely correct. The shit going on in Nigeria is insane. And the thing that I think annoys me the most is you've got the leader of the largest group of Christians on the planet, the Pope, not saying a damn thing. And you've got a pop rap singer from America standing in front of the what should be, isn't, but what should be the maybe not even what should be, what they want it to be, the biggest governmental body on the planet, arguing for their protection. And the Pope is busy setting up a prayer room for Muslims in the Vatican archives. This blows my mind. And I'll tell you, the thing that's really kind of funny, and it's funny that B-Man says this, the thing that's really kind of funny is it reminds me of when Kim Kardashian came out and like joined the Trump administration for like 4 or 5 weeks during Trump's first term. So Trump must have a type. But I mean, it is shocking to see this, and honestly, it's actually quite humbling to see someone who I never would have really thought I had a single thing to agree with on to come out and speak against an actual genocide, not a purported genocide that we keep hearing Democrats talk about, but an actual issue going on in this world. And that, honestly, that's the thing that made me such a big, yeah, you didn't hear about that? So there's a bunch of imams down in the Vatican. I don't know if they're still there, but there's a bunch of imams down in the Vatican doing some research on something. And they asked the Pope if they could set up a prayer room so they can pray to Mecca. And he gave permission to do it. Not really something I would have done if I was the Pope. This concept of interfaith dialogue is not, it doesn't work. Like, you cannot. And look, this is not a religious stream. It's not a religious channel. But I am unashamedly and unapologetically Christian. And to see a denomination not understand that diversity and universality of religion is complete bullshit terrifies the hell out of me. Yeah. Brother, I cannot wait. Man. They thought the second one was bad. What's up? Lean back. And Bruce is right. Not compatible. Okay. What was the other thing I wanted to talk about? Let me look. I just, I want to talk about this real quick. So there's a bunch of reports going around that, Sundowners, why do you? Oh, okay, that's not that bad. So this started popping up all over the internet yesterday. That the Bush family, led by W, is planning to reclaim control of the Republican Party following Trump's second term. So this is my problem with this. Okay, first off, the Bush family stopped having control of the Republican Party when George Bush left the White House in 2009. There's a reason that it is I'm sorry guys, it is one of the good things about George W. Bush. He, like his father, like basically every president prior to him, and what I kind of hope Donald does, but not as much, the second they left the White House, they were done. They stopped being really involved. Obviously, every now and then they'd probably throw a party or something, do a fundraiser. But like Bill didn't continue making speeches. George didn't continue making speeches. Reagan didn't go around and say, do this, do that. They finished their presidency and they moved on. The Bush family, after that, Jeb was not a leader of the Republican Party. When Jeb Bush ran, half the country said, there's another Bush? Who the hell's Jeb? Like, no one knew who Jeb Bush was. That's why he never won he didn't even win the Florida primary. And he was the fucking governor. That it's the most annoying thing. And I'm telling you right now, I don't know who created this idea. I promise you, this is not happening. Because see, this is the thing. In order to reclaim control, let's say they want to reclaim control of the party, okay? Well, Jeb's not going to be able to do it. Jeb is a wet blanket. He doesn't speak as well as George did. He doesn't exude the power that Trump did or does. The only like great moment I can even think of, and we don't have to really get into it, okay? But the only really great moment I can think of from Bush's presidency is that speech at Ground Zero. But that was 24 and a half years ago. Oh, sorry, September. 24 years ago. Like, there's no way in hell George Bush, who now looks like he's, I don't know, drunk by 3 p.m. Like, he does not exude any of the energy that he did in 2000 when he was running, or 2004 when he was running. So there's no way the Bush family has a shot in hell of doing that. And they're the only ones, right? Sophia isn't going to pop up and be a leader. You know who has more energy? Fucking Nikki Haley's son that just did that interview yesterday saying dual citizenship should not exist in the government. And he's right. Oh, yes. Okay. Star Wars Dog's right about that. When he was given that, he was doing that press conference, and then he finishes, he goes, now watch this drive. That was pretty good. Oh, yeah, no. People don't, so many people. And, dude, honestly, there are people that are 50 years old that don't understand just how different the federal government was, how different politics were. Politics used to not be that big a deal. You used to go and vote in November, and then that was basically it. Every now and then you might have a discussion over whether or not this bill should pass, but it wasn't this deciding factor on whether or not you talked to your father this week. Like, that's what it has become. You know, we saw those videos the other day, or honestly throughout the last 2 years, really, where some woman with a nose ring gets on TikTok and talks about how she's not talking to her father anymore because her father voted for Donald Trump. I want to talk about this. I think we're going to end on this. So, in the continuing resolution that passed the House and the Senate, or I guess the Senate and then the House, what was that now? 2 weeks ago, the Senate Republicans put in there a line item that gives them the ability to receive $500,000 or more for being spied on by Jack Smith. So, a couple things to clear here. A, was it wrong for Jack Smith to spy on sitting elected officials? Yes. Was it wrong to do that based on party? Yes. Was it wrong for the judges to sign the warrants? Yes. Yes. It's so many of these questions. Yes. Is it wrong for Lindsey Graham and all of these senators to sit there and say, okay, now we're going to cash in on this? Abso-fucking-lutely. You are an elected official. You do not get to cash in on having that job. I hope and I pray that we kick this dumbass out of office in the primaries in April. I think our primaries are in April. Let's see, primary. Isn't he up for re-election this coming year? I'm pretty sure he is. Hang on, primary. Have we not? Oh, I don't think we've set our primaries yet. No, August, it looks like. I don't know. Well, my dryer's done. That was really long. Let's see. Lindsey Graham up for re-election. He's up for until 2027. Okay. So, yeah, he's up for re-election this year. And it's, yeah, I'll tell you. So Lindsey Graham ran for the open Senate seat from what's his face, Strom Thurmond. He ran against Joe Wilson. Now Joe Wilson, I like Joe Wilson. I think he does a relatively good job for South Carolina. Every now and then, he acts a little rhino-ish, but it's not nearly as close to Graham's level. So I would have preferred if he had won. I'll tell you what, this is kind of cool. There's this website, govtrack.us, that you can see basically everything they've done. They don't have anything from this year. But from January 1995 to November of 25, Graham missed 503 of 7,888 roll call votes, which is 6.4%. This is much worse than the median of 2.9 among the lifetime record senators currently serving. Wow, he missed a lot of votes in December of 2020 through January of 20. They're not in session during that. There must have been like one or two votes, so you missed all of them. That's crazy. I really want him out. I'm sick of him. That's what's kind of annoying is like I don't want term limits because we shouldn't need term limits. The reason the founders didn't put term limits in is because they didn't anticipate. They didn't think that it would become such a money-making machine, and B, they didn't think that it would be a full-time job. It's like the one bad thing they did. They did not anticipate that leading the country would become a full-time job. And honestly, it really shouldn't be. The reason the elections are held in November is because that's when crop season was over, and that's when the harvest was done, so they could go and finish the or so that everyone could vote, or the people that could vote because they were done with their harvest. And that's what I think is annoying about this is, the electorate is so dumb now that we see R or we see D or we see, I know that name, and we vote for it. So, dog, the reason that there are two parties is because there's too many people that are able to vote. So every 3 or 4 years, we get a new party pop up. We had the Green Party, the Tea Party, the Libertarians. There's like 4 or 5 others, but they're single issue parties, and those issues get absorbed by one of the two main parties, and then you get the party that absorbed that issue shifts so far to that issue. And the great example is the Democratic Party with the Green Party. They shift so far into they shift so far into that new idea that they have assumed, because they feel like they have to in order to maintain the votes. But Cornboy's right that more parties only really work in a parliamentary system. They work best in like a British parliamentarian system. But one of the problems with the Australian parliamentary system is they have this system of, I forgot what. I wish Debbie was in here. She'd be able to tell me what it's called. They have this system where they can mathematically control who gets in and who doesn't. So the government never actually changes. The people might change, but the whips don't. So they're able to basically go to, like, a conservative can go to a green and say, okay, it might be preemptories, but I don't think that's the right word. Preferences. Okay, I'll give you, if you have like 40 of your people vote for my stuff, I'll give you 30 votes, and then we'll maintain our balance in the legislature. It's bullshit. It's control. It is literally controlled opposition. Whereas in Britain, it is genuinely on the whim of the people. But guys, it's 11:05. We've been live for an hour and 5 minutes now. I have to hit the road because I have to get down to Georgia before it gets dark, because they don't have electricity down there in that hellhole. They don't know how it works. So I still need the sun. Guys, thank y'all so much for watching. I hope y'all had fun. I hope you appreciate this. I wanted to go live last night, but I got home and I did not feel good. Like I almost thought I was getting sick, but I actually feel so much better tonight. Clearly, all I needed was sleep. Guys, we are up to 470. If you have not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We'll be back next week with videos, more live streams, and home in 2 hours. Okay, I'll be there, Jim. Don't worry. So yeah, guys, y'all have a great weekend. I hope everyone is gearing up to have a great Thanksgiving. Don't forget, turkey is better than ham. Dressing is better than stuffing. And anyone that says otherwise,
he's a stupid son of a bitch.
Is a stupid son of a bitch. Peace out, guys.